My name's Aaron Dewan, and I'm the CEO here at Richards Paint Company.
My name's Dave Ecker. I'm the Director of Operations here at Richards Paint.
Sure. So Richards Paint is primarily an architectural coatings manufacturing company. We do some light industrial as well, but we are really all over the US and then actually out of the country as well in Canada, throughout the Caribbean, and even some over into Europe. Our formulations are pretty vast. They could be anywhere from maybe 4 raw materials to maybe 30 raw materials in one particular product. So things can get pretty complicated. I worked at a few different companies where we had implemented BatchMaster. Before that, David and I worked for a company called Delta Laboratories in Ocala, Florida, where we had implemented as well. And then I had worked with BatchMaster many years ago, back in the 2005, 2006. So it's been a long-standing relationship with BatchMaster and different versions of the software.
I was the lab manager at a previous company that Aaron talked about at Delta Labs when we implemented the BatchMaster SAP program. So I wasn't fully involved in the whole implementation process then, but this most recent time, I was, operations lead.
When I first got here to Richards, we were using an older version of BatchMaster that wasn't an end-to-end, and they were using kind of a bolt-on custom interface with a customer service module. And then the financials weren't even tied to it at all. So they weren't utilizing BatchMaster as it was really meant to be, which really was the impetus to move towards the end to end. There were also some things happening in the industry as far as labeling and requirements from SDSs and things like that really needed to push us towards a more modern ERP system. That, coupled with the fact that the size of business that we really needed something that was going to be a good tool for us rather than just a crutch to help us along. We had a black hole of data. The data was all there, but it was in so many different systems, and to try and get that out into a format where it could allow us to make good business decisions was very tough. I could pull financial data from my finance package and look at, okay, what's the P&L look like? But I couldn't tie it back to anything. I couldn't even tie it back to a specific customer and start to look at that.
You had to manually push data, and there's always ghosts and missing information, and then try to just export all that into various Excels and try to merge them. It was cumbersome at best.
Been nice order to cash visibility all the way through and be able to get the data that back out of it to make good business decisions. So the granularity of an end-to-end ERP system is very nice. If we need to drill down on something, we can absolutely do it in this system.
So Aaron brought up SKUs. We have several thousand SKUs, probably 3,000 SKU or stock keeping units loaded in the system. Keep about 700 or 800 of those on stock on the finished goods side, and another, probably about 1,000 of those on stock at any given time. So utilizing the bin mapping process, the bin map, bin master, and SAP BatchMaster has been very useful for that, as well as the lot traceability from purchase to consumption in a batch, and then out the door. So, and then that traceability dashboard in the system has been very useful. Data gathering, a more updated formula entry system with that deal with today's new regulatory stuff, and being able to trace all the EPAs and other state regulatory needs that we need to, and still be able to add those on as they come up that we weren't able to do in the desktop version.
I really do think mapping out your products and understanding what your products are. And, I think the biggest or the hardest thing for people to do is actually visualize what the new software is going to be able to do for them. Clean up your data really well beforehand.
Data cleanup and having somebody familiar with, at least moderate experience with Excel and maybe Access some just database softwares, because there's going to be a lot of merging and unmerging and cleaning up data. It's easy to say clean up, but it's hard to do.
Company was not really a migration. It was from scratch. We were going from a very old DOS-based software to the SAP B1. So that was a completely different thing. So we couldn't get the data out as cleanly as we were able to get at least the formulation data out here at Richards. So this was a little bit of a different scenario. But having gone through it before, I wouldn't have wanted anybody at my side trying to do this besides David. Because he was really in the weeds on the last implementation too. And he really took the ball and ran with it here.
Rajat, I don't even know what his title was. But he was there throughout the entire process. And even after go live, he was a very good resource for me to reach out to with some of the post go live issues.
Absolutely. We're in a much better position than we were before going down that path. It's very, very tough to do. But are we a better company? Without a doubt. We're in a much, much better position. But that being said, everybody has to learn how to do their job in a different way. So you have to look at what advantages, what benefits is this software going to give you, and go down that path and keep an open mind efficiently. That's an easy one. You can see that almost day one, where people are working more efficiently just by utilizing the system, as opposed to sitting there and sloughing data around. My purchasing has gotten a lot more streamlined, because they're actually looking at raw materials, and they're able to put in a time fence on, when are we going to be out of something. You can see that demand. So the visibility just makes everyone's job much more efficient.
No, I mean, the reporting, the traceability, and then from my standpoint, being able to custom query information that's not maybe in a standard report, which I don't know. I lost count of how many of those I put in the system just to pull information to help make those business decisions, because all the data is there. Yes.
Yes, and I have to many other paint companies.
A very
Go ahead.
easy one was the material usage report, and the desktop version would take an hour. Now it runs in 20 seconds. I mean, that saves, because it locks up your computer all day long, and you'd have to strategically run that at the end of the day and hope it's still there in the morning when you get your computer to auto update. I joke, but yeah, that was a severe pain point for both Aaron and myself. Reporting in general, on both the usage and production side, the P&L statement and the GL, being able to gather information out of that and tie it to reality is considerably better now, especially since it's all in one system versus trying to look at QuickBooks on one screen and BatchMaster on another screen and third software on a third screen.
Another part of our business is private label. So a customer, a particular paint store may have a label that they've designed. It has their name on it. So there was no traceability at all on that back to the base formula. So that was another big advantage with the new software packages, that we've got that traceability all the way back. So just because it's a different label doesn't mean it's a different product, and it should go in the product sales for the base formula that we have. So that traceability has been very nice for us as well.